Sometimes we just need to change things up a little bit, and that's completely okay. Well, hello there, and welcome to episode 11 of B.Hooked TV. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm extra excited about this one because Tunisian crochet is something I absolutely adore. So today I want to share with you 5 reasons to love Tunisian crochet that you may not already know about the craft. Now, Tunisian crochet is one of those things that I turn to when I'm looking to change things up a little bit. And if you don't know how to do Tunisian crochet yet, I hope this episode encourages you to give it a try because it's a really fun craft. Now, speaking of things to love, in today's demonstration, I'm going to be using one of my newest favorite yarns from the Lion brand lineup, and that is Ferris wheel. It is no secret that I adore roving yarn with long sweeping color changes, and that's exactly what Ferris wheel is. And it is incredibly soft, making it perfect for projects that you're gonna wear next to your skin. I'm a little bit of an itchophobe, so scarves, I'm really choosy about the types of yarn that I use for scarves because I don't want it to be super itchy all the time. Now, Ferris wheel is a 100% acrylic yarn, and that is what contributes to the fact that it's really soft. It lives in the worsted weight category, so it's a medium weight yarn, and it is washable and dryable. Again, Lion brand is on it with these washable and dryable yarns. It's not something you would typically see for a roving yarn, so that's pretty special. Now, this is just one of the colorways that's available in Ferris wheel. This one's called Wild Violets, and there are several varieties. Actually, I have another one right here that I have to show you. I am so obsessed with this color. I mean, look at that. I'm obsessed. So this is what it looks like from the top. This one has lots of like oranges and pinks and even like mauves and tans. This one's called Cherry on Top. It's super beautiful. And there's a variety, as you can see here, from purple to really colorful, even down to some real neutral shades. This one is called Morning Java. But anyways, I could talk about Ferris wheel forever because it's like my new shiny object. But what I'll do is have a link in the video description below where you can check out the colorways, you can see more details about the yarn, and more importantly, decide if it's right for your next project. All right, so the first reason to love Tunisian crochet is that it's great when you just need to change things up a little bit. Sometimes I just get into a groove with crochet and it sort of feels a little monotonous, especially when I'm working with a big project and I just need an extra little kick of motivation to fuel me through that project. Well, typically in those situations, it's helpful to try something new, try something a little bit different. And Tunisian crochet is usually that for me because the stitches and the projects that you can create are very similar to crochet, but they're just different enough to make it seem like you're doing something completely different. All right, that brings me to the second reason to love Tunisian crochet, and that is to give your hands and wrists a break. I don't know about you, but I crochet a lot. Many hours per week. Hopefully you're able to do the same. But even if you can only sit down and crochet for a couple hours each evening, you're probably experiencing some hand and wrist fatigue. And that is certainly the case for me with the amount of crocheting that I do. Because I love crochet so much and creating and crafting with yarn, I really can't bear the situation where I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. So what I like to do is turn to my Tunisian crochet hooks when I'm feeling a lot of hand and wrist fatigue because the motions are just different enough to help with that. You're doing a different set of motions. So for me personally, I don't really feel those aches and pains. So Tunisian crochet really bridges that gap when I've just gone a little too crazy with my current crochet project and my hands need a break, but my mind still needs to create with yarn. That's what Tunisian crochet does for me, specifically in this instance. So the third reason to love Tunisian crochet, and this one is my favorite because this is the reason why I learned Tunisian crochet in the first place. If you crochet and you don't knit, but you love the look of knitting, Tunisian crochet is your jam. That's exactly what happened to me. I love the look of knitting, but for the longest time, I just couldn't make that connection. I couldn't figure out how to knit. It just didn't work for me. I couldn't fix my mistakes. I couldn't finish a project. It just was a disaster. When I found Tunisian crochet and realized that I could create that traditional stockinette stitch that I love so much with a crochet hook, albeit a little bit different than a normal crochet hook, I was just hooked. I mean, no pun intended there, but I mean, honestly, that's the best way to describe it. When I learned that I could make stitches that looked like knitting, there was no question. I was learning this craft and I was going to make projects that look like knitting, even though I wasn't actually picking up a pair of needles. And that leads me into the fourth reason to love Tunisian crochet, and that is because you can create completely unique stitches with a Tunisian crochet hook. And really one of the greatest things about it is that it's a really cool hybrid between crochet and knitting. The crochet hook itself is really long. You might have actually seen them in your local craft store. I remember cruising by one day and I thought, what on earth is that? Why would you need a crochet hook that long, and why does it have a little stopper on the end? Think about knitting needles, right? If you're using just a single pair of knitting needles, they're long. And that's because you work the entire row on your needle and then you sort of knit from one needle to the next. Well, in Tunisian crochet, you're working all of the stitches, the entire project, on your needle, and then you're working them back off. So it consists of two different sets of motions. You have a forward pass and you have a backward pass. And those two together make up one row of your Tunisian crochet project. Well, this allows for some flexibility. You can create stitches that look like your normal crochet stitches, but you can also create stitches that look like knitting, as we just saw before. And you can create a completely different set of stitches that looks like nothing you've ever seen. So now the fifth and final reason to love Tunisian crochet is very near and dear to my heart, because this is the whole purpose for this channel, for everything I do at B.Hooked, and that is just to improve your skills. If you're anything like me, you crave learning and learning new skills, new stitches, new projects, new techniques. And the cool part about Tunisian crochet is that it's a completely different set of stitches, projects, instructions. And that's really exciting for me because it gives me the opportunity to learn more stitches so I can incorporate them in more projects and of course share them with you. Now, I would love to know why you love Tunisian crochet. If it's something that you have tried before, leave me that in the comment section below. I can't wait to read that and hear why you love Tunisian crochet after hearing some of these reasons why I really love the craft. And if you've never tried Tunisian crochet before, I do have some resources available on my website, so you can give this a try. It's such a fun craft. And I also do have a blueprint course if you're familiar with Blueprint, which is formerly known as Craftsy. If you have taken part in their premium membership program, we had a video on that a couple weeks ago. My Tunisian Crochet for Beginners course, it would be included in that premium membership. But you don't have to have that. You can always just purchase the course through their website. And I'll have a link in the video description below. And this is not like a shameless plug here or anything like that, but it is a really great resource for somebody who's looking to learn Tunisian crochet. That's enough about that course. And one last thing before I go, I want to say a big thank you to Lion Brand for sponsoring this entire season of B.Hooked TV, but primarily for giving me some amazing Ferris wheel to try and play with for this episode to share with you, because it's something that I am truly excited about right now. I love a good roving yarn. I love a good long sweeping color change, and that's what Ferris wheel is. So once again, the link is in the video description for you to check out Ferris wheel on Lion Brand's website so you can decide if it's right for your next project. All right, that wraps up this episode of B.Hooked TV. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time, my friend.